When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
All right. Hello, everyone. We're so grateful you are here. You have made it to the Take the Leap podcast, and I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And if you are new, welcome. This is a space where I interview experts every single week that are going to give you nuggets on how to design the best life for you, which includes building your business, building your career in corporate America, building your relationships, and loving yourself. That's a big piece of this. So we talk about all kinds of subjects on this podcast. And if you're a return listener, thank you for your loyalty. We're so happy you are here. Today, we're talking about a new way of being. And I love this subject. And Sahar Nafal is here, and she is going to be telling us all about why she works with individuals on a new way of being, which really supports my 2023 word of the year, which is connection. And I really believe that individuals are starving for connection and they are just drowning in content. We need to connect with people on a whole different level of being. And I can't wait to get into this conversation today. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsor of today's show, Julie Jones with the Adventures of Julie Jones and Get Shit Done Coaching. Are you overwhelmed and overworked with a never-ending to-do list? Do you constantly feel tired because life seems hard and your needs are nowhere near the top of your priority list? Well, as an adventure and breakthrough coach, Julie Jones will support you in a life that is easy, effortless, and most of all, fun. Stop spending time on the have-tos and live a life that's truly living in the I get to. What are you waiting for? Take action and go to juliejones.biz and book a free 30-minute live out loud call with Julie. And I promise you, you will be living out loud when Julie Jones is in your circle, because she is a good friend of mine and she helps me live out loud all the time. She brought a new level of fun to my life and I can't thank her enough. So I highly recommend that you have that call with her because she is just so much fun to be on the phone with. Okay, like I said, Sahar Nafal is here today to talk about a new way of being. And she is the founder of the Soulful Leader Community, a soul guidance mentor and speaker for the past 18 years. Sahar has been guided to support conscious leaders and influencers who are ready to make an impact, to expand, evolve, and go deep within to achieve more balance. Leaders who are ready, I love that you keep saying this, they have to be ready, right? Leaders who are ready to make a greater transformation within their own platforms of influence, altering the old ways of doing to the new way of being. Sahar, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and with your audience. So grateful.
You know, you talked about it being a crucial time in history right now and what you had written to me, and that conscious leaders are required to support the upgrading of our planet. What does that mean when you say that? Explain that to the listeners, because I don't know they know what that means.
I love that question. So basically, each and every one of us, what I believe to be true, that each and every one of us here on earth has a specific purpose and a calling, right? Mm-hmm. And many of us who are called light workers, most likely you are, and they come in different variations, light workers. We're here. We have reincarnated here on earth in order for us to do some sort of transformation, whether it is for humanity, for our earth, the trees, the air, the sky. We are here and we have committed to shift and change and evolve the world, help evolve transform people's lives. So in order for us to do that, and light workers I consider to be leaders, if you want to give them a title, right? We need to lead by example. It's no longer doing the old things that are no longer serving ourselves or even the humanity. It is time for us to alter the old way of doing to a new way of being, which I'll share a little bit more about what that means. But if you are a leader, or you consider yourself to be any kind of leader in the consciousness field, spirituality, it could be religion, leading humanity to evolve and grow, it is time for you to step it up and begin to be the example, the way shower of how you need to be in whatever platform that you are in, and you are creating shifts and change in for whomever it is.
I love that you said way shower.
Yeah.
That is awesome, because we have to be the examples. Even I look at mothers, your children are watching you. There's a lot of daughters that grow up to be like their moms, a lot of sons that grow up to be like their dads, because they're watching and you're the example, the exemplary example. And when you give yourself permission to be who you are, to let your gifts, fly, to embrace and lean into what you talk about, making a greater transformation, you give your children permission to do that. So I want to ask you, in your past, you've had an experience in leadership and soul guidance, and talk to me about how did you get here today in what you're doing?
Great question.
Yeah.
There are always adversities before breakthrough, right? We always have our timeline where we go through so much. I grew up, I'm Palestinian. Both my parents come from small villages in the West Bank. And, I grew up a pretty good lifestyle. My father did well. And 1976, we immigrated to the US. And even though culturally, we're here in the US, at certain age, I had to get married. And it wasn't like a fixed marriage, but I was told I had to get married. So the first guy that said, "You have beautiful eyes," I said, "Oh,
yes, I'll marry you."
I'll marry you. In fact, on my 25th birthday, I married. And he was also from the Middle East. But unfortunately, that was a very unhealthy relationship. So 18 years. I don't like to use, it was abusive, but I just very mindful of the words that I use, right? New way of being. But it was a very unhealthy relationship. And 2008, I made a decision to just leave with my girls. And that was the best thing I had to do. And keep in mind, we had it all, the multi-million-dollar homes, the boats, the vacations all over the world, the dream, like life, and people were just so envious of their life. But what they didn't know what was going on, there was a war literally happening in my own home, the screaming and yelling and all the things that unfortunately were very unhealthy for my girls. So I had to leave. And I started what I've decided to do. And we were both in real estate. We were top 2% in the nation. So we did really, really well. And I made the decision to leave. And before that, my name is Sahar, right? And it means dawn, early in the morning when the sun rises above the horizon line. Like I am all light, right? I exude light with my name. And I called myself Sarah the last 6 months of my marriage because I didn't know who Sahar was. And that was really the shift. It's like identifying, figuring out who Sahar was. And so when I left the marriage, I left everything behind. That was the beginning of my first dark night of the soul, the beginning of me identifying who Sahar really, truly was, because throughout my life, I never felt a sense of belonging, right? And that's another story that I share usually, but I finally figured out, I have to figure out who Sahar is. How do I navigate on earth? How and who is navigating on earth, right? That was the beginning. And I thought, what would it be if I just left everything behind, including my real estate license, and begin something that I'm passionate about, which is gathering women together. And it started with 6 women in my family room, believe it or not. Within a year and a half, I was in a chair at the Marriott Hotel, my own event with Dr. John Gray.
I love him.
And he's speaking, and there was about 250 to 300 people with vendors. I go, I think I'm onto something. So I started, it was before the Soulful Leader Community, it was called The Bright Side of Life, because I was living the dark side of life, going through divorce, foreclosure, bankruptcy, IRS auditing, losing all my investment properties, my home, everything you could ever imagine. Everything you could ever imagine within such a short period of time. The dark side of life was happening to me. And, they say God won't give you what you can't handle, right? And raising my girls on my own. So that was the huge transformation for me to wake up, to say, let go of the material world and step more the essence of who you are. And you are here to create shifts and change, specifically for women that are going through a transition. God gives us, and, whatever guides, spirit guides, they give us exactly our timeline on earth, what we have committed for. Every single thing that we go through, any adversity, any challenges, any hurts, anything leads us to where we need to be, right?
That's right.
And so the events grew and grew and grew and grew. And then 2020 came. and I tell you, I went through another dip, but I had the tools this time around. And 2022 was a huge shift for me. That I've done everything that I've done in the past to get me to where I'm at. I became more aligned with the essence of who I am, and the altar work, the altar process, and altering is the new body of work that merged in and was birthed during the 2021 when we're all in incubators and beginning to really acknowledging the true essence of who I am and the true purpose of why I'm earth, but I needed the training to get here.
Yeah. 1,000% agree that A, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. And B, that you had to go through even the 18 years of marriage to mold you. It's the same way, the family I was in, I had an abusive father. I needed to be in that family to become, who I was and go through the relationships I went through and the divorces to become who I am. So to go back and say, oh, when someone says, don't you wish you could go back and change your life? I'm like, no, I wouldn't be exactly who I am today if I did. And I'm grateful that I've had every experience, good and bad. And I love that you talk about letting go of the material things and really focusing on a way of being. And that, to me, that connection is so important, because mental health and individuals that are struggling out there right now that feel like life isn't worth living and want to leave this earth because they're not happy. If they're connected and people truly love them and they know that and they have this connection, I believe that we could change. Hopefully we could change, those statistics. To love other people. And I know that you bringing all of those women together for all those years and then continuing to do that online once, of course, everything shifted with COVID, every single one of those leaders and those women needed to be in that community with you to learn from you. I really, truly feel every woman that is in the LEAP community and has been in my Lead Up for Women community prior to that has always been the right people to be in the community, because we attract the right people to us. We attract life pretty much. It's happening for us, right? We can attract that. So
if you don't mind, I just want to share one more thing. I love
Please.
that. It's our frequency.
It is.
Yes. The more we evolve, the more we're very clear about our purpose, our passion, where we're going. Doesn't matter. It could be a mom who is passionate about being a mom. Doesn't matter. But you attract your own frequency and your own energy. So the more we evolve, it's like you can't surround yourself with anyone unless you evolve and your frequency is at a point where those people around you have to be matching your frequency.
That's right. That's right. I absolutely agree with that, because we attract people, places, things, and events.
Yes.
Based on, so people that keep having bad luck, right? They're like, oh my gosh, why does this always happen to me? They're always vibrating at a low frequency that is attracting those, because we must attract whatever frequency we're at. So when you surround yourself, like you said, with high frequency people and individuals, and you're operating at that level and you're doing the things to operate at that level, by law, you must attract people, places, things, and events to that frequency. Life gets easier, and it doesn't feel so hard like you're in the hustle. And it's long gone, the day of wearing the badge of busy and I'm burning the candle at both ends. It's like, good for you. That is not where I want to be. So what are you up to now? When you talk about a new way of being in your community, what are the discussions that you're having this year with women? What is kind of the topics of discussion?
In fact, on the 26th of January, I had relaunched my online, I call it virtual, I call them the Soulful Virtual Circles. And we meet every single month, the last Thursday of each month at 9 a.m. in the morning and Pacific. And what happens is we talked about rituals for the soul, right? For 2023. Now, the new way of being is stepping more into the essence of who you are and being on the path of your calling, right? But you're not just going to step and go. You have to have daily rituals, habits. Every single day when you wake up from the morning, you wake up, your eyes open up to the time your eyes close. Your life has to be so focused on exactly what needs to be done on that day. And I'm not talking about just fulfilling, your calendar, but even in between. And I shared with everyone 3 areas of rituals that we need to focus our attention on a regular basis in order for us to, again, release what we have been taught to work hard, to do certain things like everybody else is doing. How can we be our own individual and follow these specific rituals in order for us to stay focused, right? And achieve whatever it is that we need to achieve. We have a finite of time in our world. Like we live this finite time. And if we don't take every single moment to be present with it, to allow whatever it is that's supposed to be unfold naturally, being in the feminine as well is one way. We're going to be living life being obedient to our phones and our computers. A lot of my rituals that I share, my expertise is connecting and being present with nature, and how when we merge nature and us as humans together, that's where everything falls into place.
It's beautiful.
And that's what I really have been teaching, believe it or not, as simple as it is, but how can we become more in one with nature? Because when we become one in nature, because nature is one with each other. There is no diversity. There is no prejudice. There is no separation. If we could become one in nature, we could become one with humanity, with ourselves, and then become one with humanity, have more compassion for life. But it all starts with rituals. And what are the rituals that you have to do on a daily basis in order for you to arrive to your destination here on Earth and navigate on Earth? Exactly.
What are the 3 rituals? I'm just dying over here. I got to know. What are the 3 rituals?
I'm teasing, right? The first one, it's not 3, it's just 3 aspects that I've shared. The first one is to have a morning routine. And I'll share just a few of one of my favorite ones that I do in the morning. In the morning, first and foremost, before you even go to sleep, do not put any electronics in your room. I don't have a TV. I don't put my phone. I don't even check my phones and messages in my room. My bedroom is my sacred space, right? I have a small altar in my bedroom. It's a space where when I go and put my physical body, that's the incubator that's carrying my soul, on my beautiful sacred bed that I smudge and clear, it's a place where I sleep. And when I sleep, I need my physical body to rest. And possibly those of us who dream and go solve problems out in the ether, you have to really honor the place where you sleep. So number 1, put a tall glass of water next to you. So no electronics, tall glass of water, and you just go to sleep. I know a lot of people don't sleep a lot, but there's other things that I could.
I do with a tall glass of water. Good. I infuse oils, and that's my time to recharge. And I sleep amazing.
Excellent. Me too, because I plan. It's a ritual, right? I wake up in the morning. Before I even wake up, that early morning, right before you wake up. For me, it's 6:37, and I just wake up, and before I even open my eyes, I just really am present with those few moments. It could be 15 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, whoever, and I'm going. Thank you, soul, for coming back into my body. It is another day. Thank you for giving me another day here on Earth. How can I serve today? How can I serve today? How can I come from a place of service? Use me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I wake up, I get up, I drink my tall glass of water. I make sure my body is okay. I don't just rush Of course, you go to the bathroom, whatever you need. And I go to my family room. And do you think I pick up my phone and check my messages? Absolutely not.
If you're like me, you don't. No way.
You don't. Then we go to the kitchen, and I usually do intermittent fasting. So I just have my green drink. And, but I begin, of course, after I do that, because I have to nurture my body before I meditate. And then I stop and I pause and I meditate. And meditation could come in different forms. For me, it's going in nature, again, hugging some trees, walking barefoot, looking at the sky, being present with all, listening to the birds. I'm so grateful. I live in Southern California, so we have access to all the beauty that you could ever imagine. And sometimes I do guided meditation. Sometimes I just do regular. So that's the morning routine, right? And then the second one is the connection with nature. And I have a really busy schedule with clients that I'm so blessed. And so I schedule my time to be with nature. I schedule my time, nature. You could look at my calendar where I go out and I connect to nature in between, so I could ground myself into earth and become oneness into earth. So I could feel, right, everything. I'm full now. So I'm able to give from a place of presence. So if I'm present with nature, then I could come and be more present with my clients, and I listen more, I tune in more, I channel more, I transmute energy from higher realms into them and give them more love and more energy. So that's another ritual that I do. And then the last one is to make sure to clear everything in your environment by smudging, by clearing. I do clearing every single day, whether I use sage, and you could buy that at Whole Foods, or you could order on Amazon, and you just smudge, and I have prayers for those. You could do a blessing of your home, especially when people come in or you go out, go back, clearing yourself when you come from other events. I have a whole ritual that I do of how to stay protected also, creating a bubble of protection around you. So those are the three aspects that I really invite people to think about in order for you, again, to learn how to navigate. I promise you there won't be any mental illness, there won't be any anxiety, there won't be any sadness or any uncertainty if you just know and plan your rituals accordingly.
Yeah, I love that. And those are 3 easy steps that we can do every single day. That does not take a lot of effort. And, but they are a way of being. And, you know, we're human beings, not human doings, which I'm sure you've heard, but we do. And I never have time, and I never have time, and I never have time.
The masculine, masculine in charge.
And I've realized over the years that I choose to do what it is that I want to do. And if I choose not to have time for that other item, right, I can choose between one of the other. I can't say, hey, I can't make that. It's like, I'm not going to be able to go because I have this instead. And I made that choice, right? So I think it's so important for us to not only take that responsibility, but I love the fill yourself up part. If you're a coach or consultant like Sahar and I, and you are pouring into people and you have a community or whatever it is, even if you're a mom and you're pouring in to your family every day, how can you pour into relationship, pour into children, pour into clients, pour into a community when your cup is dry, empty, and cracked? You can't. We have to fill that up. And so many women think that's this long ritual of what it takes to do that. And you said that's a 5-minute process for you to walk out and connect with nature and just be with yourself for a few minutes to fill your cup back up so that you can be present and continue to pour into people.
Yes,
I think that's an important part.
Yeah.
For women, we think that you wear a cape, and wearing that cape means you have to give to everyone else before yourself. But the airlines will tell you that's not true, right? They tell you you've got to put your mask on first, and then you attend to your family. Why don't we practice that in life every day and be, it's amazing the conversations you could have, like I have with my grandkids, when I'm just present with them and I'm hanging out with them and I'm just observing them and I'm in the moment with them. It's amazing what can happen and the conversations you can have and what you can realize, about your grandkids for me. anyway. Sahar, I know that there are plenty of people that are listening today and they think you're absolutely fantastic. So after the shutdown, you went online, I'm assuming, with some of your events or with your community. Okay. So how would someone connect with you to find that group, find that community, be able to have some time with you? I know we have your Calendly link in there for them to have a session with you on energy clearing, which is amazing. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
What is the best way for them to connect with you and find you?
Social media is very popular right now. So the best way is you could go to my, I have two things. You could go and become my friend or follow me on Instagram. I do a lot of tips and tools in nature. You'll see me walking on the beach and I give you all kind of tools on how to use smudge and all that stuff. So it's Sahar Nafal. First name, last name is my social media for Instagram. And then I have a private group, and I'd love to invite you to join us on Facebook. It's called the Soulful Leader Community. So you could go there on Facebook and we'll invite you. And again, that's a place where we connect, we engage. I am also very, very active on Clubhouse. I don't know if some of you, it's a new platform. So I have 5,600, 6,500 members there, and I do classes every single Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. And I share these rituals and more. It's again community building. So all Clubhouse, again, they're all Sahar Nafal. I'm the only Sahar Nafal in the world apparently right now. So.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you are because you found yourself, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
I love that. And I think that was a very important piece for everyone to hear as well, is if you're not happy with the way your life is going right now and you don't feel like you know yourself. I went through that, back in 2009, and it was like, I'm going to do life the way I want to do it. And I went on a personal development journey to find myself because I found myself being a mom. And that's how I identified, was being a mom, or I identified with my title at work. And I, at that time, really didn't identify with who Colleen was. And so when I went on that journey, that really helped me know how to connect with myself, who I was, what I liked, where my passions were, what my gifts were. Because before then, everything was just clouded with doing, right? It was when I stopped to pause to really want to uncover who I was. I think that's what changed for me too. So I really appreciate that, Sahar, that you brought that to the table today. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you heard it here, a new way of being with Sahar Nafal. And you can connect with her at the Soulful Leader Community on Facebook. You can find her at Sahar Nafal on Instagram and LinkedIn. And there's a link there below if you just want to jump on the phone as fast as you can with Sahar, which I know you all want to, and get that energy clearing. You can book your time with her at any time that's convenient for you to be able to have that call. And thank you so much, Sahar, for offering that to the community today.
Yes, thank you.
All right. I just want to remind all of you, as we do every single episode, that you are the only you that has ever been, and you are the only you that will ever be. Ever be. Let that sink in for one moment. You have one chance to be the person that you desire to be the most, to authentically be yourself, to ignite your personal power, for you to get out there and live the life that you designed for yourself. If you are not happy with your life, change it. This is your chance to do that. It's only one life. So thank you so much to everybody who joined us for this show and is a listener. We appreciate, if you have any feedback for us, you can always email us at info@colleenbiggs.net. I would love to hear your feedback from today's show. And until next time, remember, be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.